Okay, cool. We are live. That's awesome. All right. So, what we are going to do now is I'm going to tell you a little bit about ClawSight, and I'm going to tell you how I got the idea for it and what I actually ended up doing with it. This is the first time I've done a live stream for this kind of stuff. So I'm not going to say that it's going to be perfect. And live demos very rarely are perfect. But anyways, I hope that you can get an idea of what we're doing here at ClawSight and all that fun stuff. So, without further ado, basically what ClawSight is today is it helps you to use your OpenClaw and your Hermes or your Claude Managed Agent on your screen. And I'm first going to show you where we got the idea. Okay? So, a guy named Farza created this thing called Hey Clicky, right? And it's this little cursor, you can see the blue one, moving around your screen. And then it hooks up to their agents and, it does what it does. But what he did at the same time was he actually, he did an MIT repo of that, open source. So I thought that that was a great idea. But I didn't want to talk to his agents. I had already built out my ClawSight, and I'm like, I don't want to talk to your agents. I want to talk to my agents. And so that's where I actually went into his repo. I forked it, and now the difference is the back end, basically. And a little bit of the front end, too, because I refined it a little bit. So it's not just sending a screenshot in your voice when we hold down the Control and Option key, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. It's actually sending you information about your screen. So the things I can click on here, or and you see here it is, because it actually talks back to you. And it will move around the screen as well, which is kind of cool. But it gives you like the URL that you're at and a lot of information about the underlying stuff. We won't get into the technicalities of that. You can go to the website, learn more about that. But today I just want to kind of show you how I use it and what you can do with it in a normal working environment. So first of all, let's just show it in action. Oh, hold on. Wait 1 second. Let's make sure. Okay, I'm running OpenClaw right now. All right. Actually, you know what? I'm going to use Hermes. So the reason I'm not going to use OpenClaw is OpenClaw is like my big workhorse, right? And I actually have a lot more context behind it, so it's a little bit slower. But I'll show it to you in a little bit. Whereas my Hermes is very kind of fast and efficient. It's not quite as knowledgeable, gets things wrong a little bit more than my OpenClaw does. But I love, so this is the thing too, what I love about it is that I can, on the fly, I can switch between my OpenClaw, my Hermes, or my Claude Managed Agent, right? And believe it or not, in my business, I run all three of them. And I'll tell you, let me look over here, make sure nobody's talking to me. Okay, great. What I love is that I can actually switch between all of them because my OpenClaw is like my CTO, right? So my OpenClaw actually built ClawSight for me, and it actually built this website, and this is all built on M- by Cloudflare. So yeah, and my OpenClaw did all of this, right? So it's a real workhorse for me. I freaking love it. And if I like depend on strategy, all that fun stuff, it's always my OpenClaw. My OpenClaw is running Codex 5.4, and my Hermes is my Chief Marketing Officer. It is running Grok 4.3. So it's much more lightweight and much more marketing focused than the other ones. And then there's my, and then there's my Claude Managed Agent. And that one is running Opus 4.8, I believe. I'd have to actually go in there and double check on that. But I think that's what it's running. There are various ones that you can actually choose of the Claude models that are available there. So, and that one, I'm going to move all of my strategy to that, after I train it, but it needs to be trained. And the way I'm going to train it is I'm actually going to hook it up to my Obsidian Vault. And let's talk about that too. So, I love Obsidian for the primary reason that it basically allows me, with the new basis feature, to build anything I want. And I'm actually going to pull this studio over here.
Basically, this entire round table.
Stop. I'm going to pull this over here so that if anybody talks to me while I'm talking to you, then I will actually see it. Okay, cool. So where was I? I've suddenly forgotten now. Anywho, let's just move on. that guy talking in the background threw me off. So anyways, yeah, I'm going to move on to the Claude Managed Agents when I get the opportunity to do that. And, okay, so let's use Hermes right now, like I said, because it's very fast and efficient at the moment. And I'm just going to give you like a quick little example of it moving around and doing things. Hey, if I wanted to start a 7-day trial, which button would I press? And so right now, actually I'm going to show you in Telegram what's happening here. So it's echoing. There, you see that? So it's echoing into Telegram, and you notice that the mouse moved by itself. I did not touch that.
Press the big red button that says Start 7-Day Standard Trial.
Okay, so all of them can do that, right? But I just wanted you to like get the idea of the fact that they can do stuff like that. So when I'm holding down the Control and Option key, what's really happening is it's taking all of that screen data. It knows what apps are open. It knows what it can click on. It's very aware of the actual objects underneath. And it can tell you like where to go to kind of like guide you in doing something on your screen. It takes that screenshot and it sends it into the model, right? No matter what backend I'm actually using, it sends it into the model. And it's fairly high resolution, so it can pretty much see everything. And so that's that. That's how it works. We don't keep anything. It's all sent to your back end. There's nothing that we do. We just kind of like, we're the glue that makes everything, holds everything together. The one thing that does get sent is the audio gets sent to Assembly AI right now, but we're actually we're going to try to bring that in-house into ClawSight so that everything is internal. So now, if you are running OpenClaw and Hermes, that's important because if you like really want to be, completely open source and running an open source LLM, then ClawSight Capture is the one that you want, and you can run any local backend LLM. That's perfectly fine. It doesn't really care what you're running. So if you want to be completely local, Capture is the way to go. Now, if you want to take the next step and you want to move into Command, into Managed Agents, that's when you would move up to Command, right? But let's just show you how I use all of them every day, just to like give you an idea. So for right now, I want to go to Facebook, and let's see, this girl said something, Jessica. Okay, and in this scenario, I actually want to use my Claude Managed Agent. And the reason behind that is that it's talking about Claude and it's asking questions about Claude. Come on, there we go. So I don't, I want to ask Claude directly, right? And right now I don't have Claude connected to anything where it could like get information. So I just want to give you this example. And now let's actually switch to ClawSight Command. And you'll notice the difference pretty quickly of what happens here when I'm actually using the Managed Agent. Hey, can you have a look at this post and help me to reply to this girl about what the difference is between using Claude Cowork versus Claude Managed Agents? And hopefully everything is copacetic. I haven't tried ClawSight Command today. We'll find out. It's just taking a little longer than it normally does. Normally it's super fast. Oh, there it goes. See? Damn, fast, right? So, hey, can you have a look at this post and help me to reply to this girl about what the difference is between Claude Cowork versus Claude Managed Agents? So in a second, the audio is going to reply.
Here's a reply you could post to Jessica Carter.
There we go.
Great question, Jessica. Here's the simple breakdown asterisk asterisk. Claude Cowork, like Claude.ai Teams, is where you sit at the keyboard and work with Claude. You prompt it, it responds, you stay in the loop the whole time. Think of it like a very smart assistant you chat with. It can support multiple users on a team plan, so yes, 2 people at your business could have their own logins under one account. Claude Managed Agents are different. These are AI agents you set up once and they run workflows on your behalf without you having to be there. They can check emails, post content, summarize documents, and complete multi-step tasks automatically. You're not co-working with Claude. Claude is doing the work for you in the background. For a business owner, the real power is Managed Agents. You define the job once, and it keeps running. The co-work model is great for learning or one-off tasks, but it's not really automation. So to directly answer your question, for 2 users on the same business account, Claude Teams handles that on the co-work side. On the Managed Agents side, agents typically run under one account/API key but serve the whole business. Want me to shorten it or adjust the tone before you post?
No, that's great. So one thing I want you to notice is like, did you notice that boom? It's like right there, right? Hermes was pretty fast, but not like the whole thing didn't come back fast, right? The response, the echoing came back pretty fast, but not the response. So managed agents is definitely, you know, boom, right there, right? Also, I'm running on a much older, what is my machine here? It is a Mac Mini with 64 gigabytes of RAM. It's a 2018 Intel Mac Mini, right? So it's got a heck of a lot of RAM, but it is definitely older and it's not silicone. So that's another thing. If you're questioning, you know, will it work on an older machine? Yes, most definitely. But here is a little bit different. Claude Managed Agents will work with you co-working too, as you saw through ClawSight command, right? So not only can we set up these agents that run and do specific things, but we can interact with it directly, right? And so now let's actually go a little bit deeper into that, and you'll understand with Obsidian where this kind of all comes together, right? So we'll do that right now. I'll reply to her in a few minutes here. But let's actually go into Obsidian. So, now, don't worry about the way Obsidian looks here. This is just my Obsidian, right? You could have any, what do you want to call it? Any, like, view of it that you want. Any, what the heck is the template? That's it. You can make it look any way you want to make it look. If you want to make it look like Notion, you can make it look like Notion. But here's the thing. With the, what's it called? Open knowledge format? OKF. Okay, yeah, the open knowledge format. With the new open knowledge format that Google created, right? Really, Obsidian is phenomenal because, and like, let's talk about like the difference between why you might use Notion versus Obsidian in this example here that I prefer to work it with, right? And you could use Notion. I'm just telling you why I use Obsidian, right? So the thing is that because Notion is pure markdown files, like all of this is pure markdown files. That is exactly what it is. That is what it does. And what the nice thing about that is that it's super simple and super easy for the LLM, right, which is the model, right, when we're talking about like OpenAI or Grok 4.3 or Opus 4.8 or your local LLM, whatever we're talking about there, it's super easy for them to consume markdown files, because there's no structure that it runs up against, right? And so, like with MCPs, quite often you'll see the LLMs using a lot of tokens when they use something like an MCP, because in that scenario, what it has to do is go through all of this structure and this information about learning that structure in order for it to do its work, right? Whereas something called command line interface, that is really, really easy for an LLM to use. It's basically just command line, right? It's just like that plain English command line stuff, super simple for it. So it consumes a lot less tokens. That's really important too. Okay, So that kind of tells you technically why do I use Obsidian. The other reason is that, for instance, when my Obsidian starts up, if we look over here on the left, right, this is all of the files in my Obsidian vault. And my Obsidian vault right now, because I started with OpenClaw, it's parked on top of my OpenClaw workspace, which means that I can easily go into my soul or my identity or my users or any of the skills, and I can read them plainly inside of my Obsidian vault. So it's really easy for me to change stuff. So what I really like about it is that it allows me to work on things, and it allows the system to work on things. So let's give you an example of that, right? So a few minutes ago, I made Jessica Carter. Or rather, my Hermes made Jessica Carter, right? And let's actually go back to my Hermes right now. And I am going to, there we go, I'm going to go right there, and I'm going to make what is called a conversation. Now, I have already taught my Hermes how to make a conversation. And my OpenClaw knows how to make a conversation as well. My Managed Agent doesn't know that yet, right? Because it's not quite in the system yet. But anyways, let's just proceed now. Give me 1 second. I'm going to pull this over here so that you can see what is happening on Hermes. And I'm going to pull this over here. You can watch here what's happening inside of Obsidian when I do this, okay? So here we have this thing in the Claude community. It's a post in the Claude community. Hey, can you make a conversation for Jessica Carter with the information that you see here? So that's fairly, boom, fast, right? But you see, it's going to take a little bit longer for her to actually do the stuff. The response came back fast, but now she's actually going to think about it. No, she misunderstood. So give me a sec here. I'm waiting for the audio to come through. Okay.
Here's a natural follow-up conversation you can use with Jessica. Marni, hey Jessica, loved your post in the Claude community. Totally get the overwhelm when you know automation would help your business but don't know where to start. Jessica, thanks. I have my own computer and it's for the business. I just don't want something that only works for one person. Marni, got it. Claude is great for learning and solo work, but if you want something that can actually run on your Mac, see your screen, and help with real tasks across your business, that's what ClawSight does. It gives eye vision and action so you don't have to copy-paste everything. Jessica, that sounds interesting. How does it work with multiple people? Marni, right now it's built for the person running it, but you can share the results and workflows with your team. Want me to show you a quick 2-minute demo of what it can actually do on your desktop? Want me to tweak the tone or add any specific details?
Now, here's another thing you'll notice about that conversation. She knew a lot more about ClawSight, right? The reason she knows about ClawSight is because she has access to that Obsidian vault as well, right? So that's kind of like the distinction between Claude Managed Agent right now, not connected to it, which it will be, but it's not yet, and her who actually knows about our business, right? So that's kind of cool. And now I'm going to correct her. Sorry, no, I actually want you to make a conversation note for Jessica Carter. Okay, so now she will actually go and make the conversation note for Jessica. No, maybe she won't. Of course, this is not what I want.
Here's a clean conversation note for Jessica Carter based on what's visible. Conversation with Jessica Carter. Date * July 2nd, 2026. Source * Claude Community Facebook Group, post plus comments. Person * Jessica Carter, business owner, brand new to AI, wants automation help. Summary * Jessica posted that she owns a business, knows what automation would help, but has no idea how to start with AI. She clarified it's for business use on her own computer and she doesn't want something limited to one user/account. Key points *. She wants practical automation, not just chat-style AI. Concerned about multi-user/business account limitations. Open to learning but overwhelmed. Marni's reply in thread * explained the difference between Answerer AI and Agentic AI, recommended ClawSight for Mac-based vision plus action, offered a quick demo. Next steps * Follow up with Jessica offering a short demo of ClawSight on her desktop. Ask about her top 2 to 3 manual tasks she'd like to automate first. Want me to adjust the format, add more detail, or create a person note for her as well?
Now, I don't know why she's being bad right now and not doing it. So, guess what? We're going to move on to OpenClaw. And now you're going to see kind of like the difference between the two, right? So what did I have over here? I had Telegram over here, and I had, my live chat over there. Oh, Obsidian. Obsidian in the background, this in the front, and then, okay. Oops. There we go. Okay, cool. Got them all set up. Okay, now let's talk to OpenClaw. My OpenClaw, as I said, is much more powerful. Takes a little longer though. So, can you please make a conversation for this post with Jessica Carter? So, that actually came back pretty quickly, which I'm happy about. I did just restart my machine, so maybe I cleared out all of my lag time. But now you'll actually see over here, so watch over here, you'll see it create a conversation. So it's actually like doing things for you, right? And it's pretty much going to make the same one as Hermes was suggesting, but probably a little bit more detailed. And also it's going to be much more rule following, again, which is why it takes a little longer. Because it knows all of our quote-unquote processes, right? But I'm really excited to see what it's going to be like once I actually move all of that into Claude Managed Agents and how fast that actually is. Because that thing is freaking fast. Come on, little Minnie. Go, Minnie, go. In this scenario, I would just go on to work in doing something else, right? Hopefully you don't have as old of a machine as I have. So it won't take so But like I said, it's great because it is very rule following. It does its job very well. And it better do its job very well after us having to wait this long. There is a way I can make it faster, which is basically, I'll show you right here. So you notice how it's echoing into Telegram, right? So in other words, whatever I say, I said, can you please make this note post for Jessica Carter? That's an echo. There you go. Conversation with Jessica Carter. Let's go in there. Let's see what she did. So she made Jessica Carter, the channel, the title, the source link. So remember how I told you that it gets the actual, like it knows where it is? And I'm going to show you something right there about that. So even though I can't see all of that information is actually in here. Okay. So you notice the entire URL is there, and it's even smart enough. It stripped this UTM information from it. So it's smart. Like, not only does it know where it was, but it actually stripped out information, that's erroneous, that we don't want. It knows that the author was Jessica, and it knows her source handle, right? So that is actually her, like underneath of here, not that, Jessica herself. Her source handle is that, and I'll show you that in a minute. And her person, like who she is, it was between Jessica and I, like the relevant people. Like, it doesn't care about Shahar because the conversation that I want had nothing to do with him, right? So again, she's trained enough, she knows that, right? And then it knows the conversation, Facebook, Claude community, because we were in the Claude community. She's an AI beginner and business automation, and it hooked it up to Jessica Carter. We'll look at her.
OpenClaw answered the connection check, but the reply timed out before any text came back.
There you go. See what I was telling you about the time lag? Time lag's pretty big on my OpenClaw right now. But anyways, oh yeah. Back to the question of how could I actually fix that? I could turn off share session with Telegram, but then what would happen is when I talk to Telegram, just everything, that's what's happening right now. It actually knows this entire session, so it's highly intelligent about the context of my business. So I don't want to turn off that share session information. If I wanted it to be faster, I could, right? So anyways, that's how you could actually fix it. Or just have a faster machine. Have a Silicon Mac, you'll be fine. Once we get enough customers, I'll get a Silicon Mac, I promise. But anyways, right now, this is the way it is. Now, last contacted, it got the time of, when that happened, right? The recommended next action, the summary, it read it through, the thread notes, the key insights. You notice it's a little bit more in-depth than the one, if we look over here with Hermes. So it had a summary, it had a couple of key points, it had a couple of follow-up steps, But this one, again, it's going to be much more robust because she has that depth of knowledge of my actual business. So anyways, let's go back to Jessica Carter, because not only did it attach this conversation to Jessica, but it actually went in there and it modified when Jessica was last, contacted. So that's another thing too. And you know what? I am going to go back into the conversation with her, and I'm going to change this convo status to she replied, and now I'm going to go back and reply to her. But anyways, now you know like how I actually use it in my business, right? So like I can go into, and this is again why I love Obsidian. So I can go into my people base here, right? And you'll notice it looks a little, Notion-y, because this is actually it is a Notion style table. So you could like make it more Notion-y if you like that stuff. There's all sorts of things that you can do. I'll give you a quick look. So we can go into the community plugins and not there. It's appearance. There we go. Okay, I like CyberGlow, but like I could go back to default, and it's very much a cheese pizza now. Some people like cheese pizzas. Anna Puchin's nice. That one's kind of interesting. What is one? Oh, the Ultra Lobster. I liked that one because it was like a little bit more OpenClaw Lobster, right? Velocity, that's another one. Anyways, you get the idea. You can pretty much make it look like whatever you want. I'm going to go back to my CyberGlow because I'm a girl and I just like it. So deal with it. Anyways, so this is a key thing about Obsidian right now, is that you can make these bases, right? And so, and if you combine that with the open knowledge format, it gets really, really powerful. We're not going to go into that today because we've been talking for a while here. Maybe I will go into that tomorrow. Let's do that. We'll go much more into the actual Obsidian, like the bases and what you can do with them and all that fun stuff tomorrow. But suffice it to say is that the types make things like objects. Like a person is an object, right? They have a specific type. They have specific information about them. So there's a specific template for people, right? And then there is a conversation is another object. It's a different type of thing. It has different fields. Okay? So, anyways, peace out. Let's go back to our ClawSight, our trusty ClawSight here. Let's see if anybody has any questions for us. Where is my live stream? X. Livestream studio. Okay, good. There are 4 people watching or have watched. Yay! That's nice. If you want to try out ClawSight Capture, which works with Hermes and OpenClaw, go here, check it out, start your 7-day standard trial. You will be taken to school because our backend is actually school. And so you can sign up for your 7-day trial there. And I personally will help you get it connected to your OpenClaw and your Hermes. Because, some of the, it is a little technical, but I understand it really well. So I can make it pretty quick for you. Especially if your OpenClaw and your Hermes are set up properly. If they're not, it might take a little longer. But anyways, that is what is going to happen. And let me go back here. So that's capture, works with OpenClaw and Hermes. Command is when it actually works with the Claude powered agents. And that is a little higher on our tier system here. Let's actually bring this up. Because there's a little bit more to it. We have to actually build the agent back in your Claude platform using your keys and everything. So you're going to be paying Anthropic directly, right? You can manage all of the spend on that and all that fun stuff. You can add more agents, or I can help you. If we go up to the concierge level, I can actually help you create more agents, and you can have the agents talk together and do different things together and all that fun stuff. So if you want kind of more hand-holding, then the VIP concierge, that is where you meet with me one-on-one every month. And you have, it's about a 2-hour session. It can be. Doesn't have to be, but it can be. That's where I can like help you tweak it, improve it, add more things to it, add more skills to it, all that fun stuff. And then there's Catalyst, where I will actually help you build out ClawSight and Obsidian and Claude Managed Agents for your entire company, right? And we meet 4 times a month. Again, for about 2 hours. If you want that, it can be much less if you don't need me, but I'm there for you. Anyways, those are all of the options that we have for you, and I hope you learned a lot today about what ClawSight is and what it can do for you. What was the other thing that I wanted to do that I didn't do? Because I had made some notes. Oh yeah, that's more technical stuff. I think for today, because it was my first, live stream, that we want to keep it pretty simple today. There's so much more that I can show you about what I do with ClawSight. It's crazy. But tomorrow we'll talk about Obsidian, and then maybe we'll talk about M-2, which is what this website's actually built on. It's built on Cloudflare's WordPress killer, which is basically it's kind of like WordPress, but it's fully agentic. So I actually built this entire site with my ClawSight and my OpenClaw. So to actually, I have to give Hermes. Hermes did all the copyright. So she did all of the copywriting. OpenClaw did the heavy lifting of actually making it all work with Cloudflare and M-. The neat thing about M- is that I can actually log in there and see it just like a real human. We won't do that today, but we'll do it like a different day. It really looks like WordPress, right? Like if I wanted to go in there and change the blog post or something, I totally could. But honestly, it's so easy just talking to it. I don't have to do anything. I love it. It just goes and does what I asked it to. So anyways, that's what we'll do. Tomorrow we'll talk about Obsidian. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed today. Now I have to figure out how to stop this thing and the live stream. Okay, bye guys.